Hello everyone, this is Alejandro Matrán. I'm the director of Harsukh, and I'm very pleased to be here at the Dada Saheb Phalke Film Festival this year, and I want to thank the organization for hosting me, which has been an amazing experience to me. Well, to be honest, everything was very improvised. So I took a plane, I landed, I filmed, and then I watched all my material and thought, what can I do with this? So I started trying different versions of the same thing until I got to this point, and I was always very ready to be surprised by my own experience in a very new country, a very different country, and I wanted to convey that experience to my film as well. So whatever it was going to be a very spontaneous, natural thing. It was my first time in Asia, and I realized how different everything is if you compare to Europe, where I am from. And okay, it's not about comparing one thing to the other actually, but when you come from A to B, you don't really know how to react to certain things. So I struggled a bit in terms of logistics and figuring out how everything was organized around me. But fortunately I had an extra hand to help me, also improvised. And I really want to thank Asim Hamid for that. Yeah. Financing was, as the rest of the things, very improvised. All the money came from my pocket, and it was some sort of a pay-as-you-go thing. Everything was very unexpected, most likely due to my lack of experience, that this is the first time doing a film. I have produced some other sort of entertainment, like theatre to be more specific, but never a film. And in terms of human resources, I had to ask a friend for some help in terms of sound editing, as I had a few problems with that, and also translators in order to translate the Urdu parts. But to be honest, all of that was kind of easy, as it all happened during the post-production period and we had enough time to sort all of those things out. Okay, I only had a camera, one single lens, and a microphone that I lost on the second day in a taxi. So I had to do everything on my own, and sometimes it was very hard to hold a conversation, like an interview with someone, while checking the focus on of the lens or the sound or any other thing. So I could have said I'm not as happy as I would like in terms of my capability to hold that human relationship that a documentary requires towards the subject, while at the same time taking care of all the technical stuff. But I am actually happy about my performance in those terms now that I see it with a different perspective. Well, as I already mentioned, it was all improvised, so I didn't have very much time to think and react. And I rather focused on doing more than thinking or making decisions rather than thinking too much. So I also tried to film as much as possible in order to have more options at the time of editing. And that is how it was actually. So my vision was never still, it was in constant change, and until the very last point it was changing all the time. And maybe now I would keep changing some things, but okay, I think it's time to focus on the next thing. I wanted to show how different a society can be compared to what we think they are. I mean, there is a whole narrative in Europe and also in India about places like Pakistan that, of course, has some real parts, like facts. But when you get closer, you realize that some other parts are just fiction or simply hidden to us. By who? I don't know. But I would like to get to know all of these beautiful things that we miss because of our own preconceptions. And I want everyone to be able to make that decision as well. Well, Apart from what I mentioned before about preconceptions, I think this documentary can be an example of what someone who has not taken a camera before can do if you have a purpose. Mine, I mentioned before, but each one has a different one. And this is actually what the documentary is about. It talks about following your passion until the very end. Again, I am very grateful for being hosted at this festival. It really means a lot to me to be part of a festival in a country that is so far away from my home, but at the same time a place that I'm very longing to visit and working. And I just want to wish you all a very good festival despite all the weird pandemic situation. I hope you enjoy the festival as much as I am doing. Stay safe. Cheers.